Hi everybody, last session of the day, you'll be pleased to know. I can see Monica's looking a bit bored. I'm just checking over here. I just need to check how engaged we all are. There's only 33% engagement, which is considering and concerning. I'm going to talk about the art of the possible. So it's going to be quick, short. I'm going to stand in front of the board so you can't read it. Is that okay? So, welcome everybody. Anybody listening to this, you're going to hear some things about some of the new stuff we're doing here. So, that's who I am. Anybody know where that's a quote from? The future's whatever you make it, so make it a good one. Okay, Terminator 2, great film. If you haven't seen Terminator, great film. And also, there's a good quote in that says, "Come with me if you want to live." And this is a little bit about the journey that we're going on at Usonic and some of the AI and the new stuff we're doing. And why are we doing it? Well, this is a bit of a story of us. This is a bit out of date, so all of the marketing team are going to go, "You should have a new one of those, Peter." But the important thing is we've hit over 5 million users of my view board. So we've got 5 million people using our software. That's a fantastic situation to be in as a company. And not only 5 million people, we're really into innovation. Tried to stay awake, Brian, you were wandering then. You know, you're like the class I used to teach on a Friday afternoon. So I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I do want you to understand we do a lot of stuff. So if you haven't engaged with Usonic and you're listening to this and you're not at BETT, at least come and have a look and see some of the stuff we do that is really involved in helping EdTech. So Usonic, here's the bit that I like, listening to our customers. That is what we're about. So if we're going to change the company, we're going to make the company more of a solutions company, we're going to listen and we're going to work with customers. And that is absolutely key to what we do. And as I said, we've got over 5 million registered customers. So that's a tick, Monica, that I mentioned that. Are you impressed? So here is some of our team. So we're also not a small player. We're serious about EdTech. We're serious about education. And on top of this, we've got over 200 odd people in Taipei. And we're a global company, so an awful lot of stuff is going on at Usonic, and I want to share a little bit. So here is potentially an effective learning environment. That's what I'm going to talk about a little bit. What's an effective learning environment? And here are two, I wrote them big because I thought they were quite good to talk about. You know, make anywhere a better learning environment. So what does that mean? And I'm going to share a couple of new products that are coming. And for those of you watching this on YouTube or wherever, I'm going to share some of those products. But making anywhere a better learning environment is something we're about. And also a better learning environment anywhere. So think about those two things, because I've got two products that I'm going to talk a little bit about that tie in with those two things. And here's a further thought. And I'm trying to work through this, but here's a further thought. Here is a modern hospital. So we've been into lots of modern hospitals. If I took somebody from the 18th century and I took them into a modern hospital, they wouldn't know what's going on. Would they really know what learning is going on? But if I took a teacher from the 17th, 18th century and took them into a school, there is a lot of things that they would understand. So where and how do we get more and better EdTech into education? That's what this is about. That's what Usonic is about. That's what I'm about. I like this slide because it's about collaborating. We work together. We all have to work together. And that's whether we're working with our channel, we're growing together. The theme of BETT is growing together and growth. And that's what we're able to talk about a little bit here. Why are we doing what we're doing? Data is a massive trend. So data is coming. If you're not using data, and look at the figures here, 90% of school leaders report data analysis is a significant issue. So we as a company are listening, and we're looking at how do we build that data? How do we do that data? And that's what we are about. Hybrid learning, or if you want a new name, and if you're here tomorrow, we've got Professor Stephen Heppel here, but nomadic learning. That's something that's going to occur in the future. That's different to hybrid learning. We've been doing some stuff with Glasgow College, but when we look at this, nomadic learning and hybrid learning, a massive key trend as well. So we've got data, we've got nomadic learning, and we've got the cloud. And then when you look at the stuff we're doing, so if you look around this stand and you look at My View Board and the various pieces of My View Board, you're actually seeing where some of these trends are tied in with the work that our team is doing at Usonic. And I'm going to throw esports in, because we've got esports here as well. And I know Luke, one of our colleagues, is on the stand further around the side. And esports is another huge area that we're looking at. But let's go back to making a better learning environment, and let's talk about sense. So there's lots of words there. Don't read them at the moment because it's too much to read. What I'd like you to do, and sorry there's a lot of background noise there, I just wanted to show you. So if you look this way, I as a teacher can actually see sense running. Sense allows me to monitor the engagement of my class. So I might be a new teacher. Do I really know as a new teacher whether Brian is engaged? This is something to help me. I'm very excited because I got a new car, and my car has got a lot of sensing equipment in it. It actually tells me off if I take my hands off the wheel. And it actually tells me if I'm not driving in the middle of the road. But it's not driving for me. And what Sense will do, Sense will actually help a teacher and actually give them guidance. So it's not photographing the kids, it's not doing anything like that, but it's working with Intel technology, and it's actually allowing us to see the actual engagement of the class. It's also thinking about what's going on with COVID. It also allows us to look at wellness. So with a sense unit in a classroom, this is new technology. This isn't launched yet, so if you're listening, anybody on the stands by us, this is interesting stuff that we're really going to be moving into. But this data that this is producing is going to feed into how we gain insights. And you're doing now exactly what everybody does. They start to test it. And it's a positive way to do it. But what we're really saying is that we see what the trend is, and what we're doing is we've got a new product called Sense that we're starting to do research on. It's something that if you're interested in, we can actually engage with you. I've got lots of slides here. I'm not going to go through all of the slides now because you will become comatose. And I did read that the average attention span is about 9 seconds now. So I'm thinking 9 seconds, that's no way Brian is going to be able to concentrate for that period of time. So I am showing you, and there is a lot of stuff I can show you. So if you look at this screen, you can see the sort of factors of transmission for wellness, and our system is built to sort of real-time monitor and look at a classroom. Nobody else has got this. This is really innovative technology that is tied up with our ViewSonic ecosystem that we're building. So this is really elevating the learning, and it's really putting us in a unique position where we can actually help support teachers and schools in actually learning. So we've got lots of slides. I'm happy to share some of these with you. I'm not going to go through all of them in detail now because I think it may comatose you. But I'm sorry, I'm just checking the audience for those watching the live stream of this. Some of them aren't paying attention, but we'll be talking to them later. It was just like when I was a teacher. But wellness compliance, all of this, there's a lot of stuff that we're doing. And really, you need to engage with us and engage with our team. And if you want to be involved, then reach out to us. You've all got Usonic's email. But what I'm saying is we can also measure multiple rooms. So say an AV person. So a teacher's going to be interested in engagement. But an AV person is going to be interested in the room. This is going to provide data for a school. And here you can see an example of a range of classrooms and information that's coming in that's going to help teachers to feel more confident in what they're doing and in actually providing a safe environment for learning. So remember that comment about, making any space the best space for learning? That's what this is about. The other area, and, we're talking about things like, let me have a little look. I'm not going to go through all of this now. Engagement. This again is the other area. So we've got wellness, we've got engagement. Remember those two things. Remember, wellness is tied around virus and that area, but engagement is about looking for those little factors. So my daughter, oddly enough, and it's strange to think about it when you look at me, she's an elite athlete, but they really focus on marginal gains. All the little things that you need to do to get the best out of them as athletes. And that's what we need to do in education. So I know one of the schools, Smesto School, that we've been working with, the moment they got this, they did exactly what I saw a couple of you doing in the audience. The kids started looking at it, putting masks on, smiling, trying to get reactions from the board. And that's really important because it makes you focus on what are the things that we need for good education. And if we change the light, does that increase learning? And we're working with Professor Stephen Heppel, he'll be here tomorrow, and we're going to do some research with schools on this in the coming months, so we can really make sure that we're rock solid on the importance of this and the importance of this data. So I'm sort of flicking through a few of these, tons of stuff, the lighting. The deputy head teacher from Smesto, I was talking to him the other week, and he said, the problem is, since you came in my school, all I do is I go round and I keep looking and going, that's a bit dark, that corner, I need to put some lighting there. So it's raising the awareness of what we need to be able to do to help in learning, and that's what Usonic is about. That's what EdTech is about. It's about how do we really increase learning. So lots of slides. I could go through these. I'm not going to talk about all of them today, but I'm happy to have one-on-ones and talk with you about this and engage with people. As I said, it's worth noting we've worked with Intel. So this is, I think, one of the first uses of Intel OpenVINO. Anybody technical listening will know what that is. And if anybody needs any information on that, I'll definitely get Brian to answer those questions because it's too technical for me. But this is technology from Intel, proven technology that we're working with to actually allow us to look at human poses, whether people are wearing masks, and to actually produce a solution for education based around it. So I'm going to finish with something else called a new world of learning. And this again is something that you might think about. And both of these are not products out yet, but they're really tied to the trends that we see going on at the moment. So Usonic Universe is dedicated to addressing the limitations experienced in remote learning, and we've all seen that over the last 2 years. I think it's 2 years today since we locked down in the UK. So we've actually got now Usonic Universe, which is actually a product. So think about metaverse, think about that side of what you've heard about. We actually are now looking for sites to be involved in testing Usonic Universe, a metaverse, a way to work that is different. If I have a Teams call with you, I can only talk directly to you. In metaverse, I'm actually in a real space that I can move around and I can set up and I can actually work really powerfully with other students to learn. So that's coming, and somewhere, if I press the button, this is what metaverse looks like. It's live now. I'm not going to log into it now, but you can see rooms, collaborative spaces. Lots of different spaces that can be configured. So if you're a university, if you're working on learning, if you want a new approach, this is something to look at. It's new, it's not anywhere else here. It doesn't need special goggles. It'll work on a phone, a tablet, a device. And this is just to give you a flavor of what is coming. That is brand new, not talked about before, but again, that's something exciting, something we're showing here at BETT today, and something that I hope is going to interest you. And I just say thank you from the team with developing this stuff, working with schools, with you in education, and hopefully you found this little step through it as a starter, and we're happy to talk more about it. I've done it quite fast today because I know there's a lot going on here, but please reach out to us. Please remember it's working with you that's actually allowed that to happen. And remember Usonic Universe, because you're going to see it coming up in the next years. And also remember Sense, because that's going to be really powerful to help you. So thank you for listening. Have a great show. Enjoy the rest of your days. We'll talk soon. Thank you.